Hi everyone, Gary and Krishna here. In this video, we'll be covering a short introduction to Pluribus Network's lab automation feature, VirtualWire. VirtualWire is a NetVisor technology that enables admins to create a virtualized patch panel out of an open networking switch. Essentially, VirtualWires are links between physical ports either on the same switch or on a switch in another cluster in the fabric. All packets, including control packets or even CRC errors, are transmitted across the link, and the state of the ports in either end of the VirtualWire is synchronized. So if one port goes down, the corresponding port on the other end does too. Some of the benefits of VirtualWire include savable configurations, just in case you need to use the same connections at a future date, programmability via CLI, Python, and/or REST API, automatic conversion across cable types and port speeds. Use a 100 gig fiber cable for one connection and a 40 gig copper at the other. Another neat benefit is that you can enable virtual wires to expensive shared test tools such as traffic generators and analyzers without a need to physically recable each time. Let's take a closer look. We'll be using a simple topology where we have two switches, test 1 and test 2, that are physically connected to a switch in the middle named VirtualWire, which will serve as our virtual patch panel. This is a switch provisioned with NetVisor OS and running in VirtualWire mode. From a physical standpoint, switch test 1 port 17 is connected to the virtual panel, also port 17. These are 100 gig ports. On the right, switch test 2 port 49 is connected to port 97 on the virtual panel. These are 40 gig ports. Now remember, when using VirtualWire, you don't need to be concerned with matching port speed types or media types of your network devices. Our objective is to create an association between port 17 and port 97 on the virtual panel, enabling the VirtualWire connection. When we are finished creating the VirtualWire link, both test 1 and test 2 will be able to see each other as directly connected neighbors when we run the link layer discovery command LLDP show. This demo is broken into 4 steps. First, when test 1 and test 2 are connected to the VirtualWire switch, no neighbors are seen. This is by design as the switch is in VirtualWire mode. Second, we'll configure a VirtualWire in the patch panel between ports 17 and 97. Third, at this point, the test 1 switch will see the test 2 switch as a neighbor. And fourth, we'll take down a port on one of the test switches and show that, as expected, the corresponding port on the other end of the VirtualWire goes down as well. Now, before we start, there's no need to try to keep track of the commands. We have a slide at the end of the presentation that does that for you. So here we go. Krishna is currently SSH'd into 3 switches. On the left is test 1, on the right is test 2, and in the middle is the VirtualWire switch. Now to begin, Krishna is going to run a port show command in both test 1 and test 2 so that you can see that each is connected to the VirtualWire switch. What he's going to do next is pre-stage an LLDP show command so that every 5 seconds on both test 1 and test 2, it runs the command. So we'll be able to see what neighbors are showing up. Next, he'll move to the CLI on the VirtualWire switch. He's going to demonstrate that the switch is in VirtualWire mode. Then he's going to show ports 17 and 97 and show that they're both respectively connected to test switch 1 and to test switch 2. Now the next step is the creation of the association between port 17 and port 97 on the VirtualWire switch. Okay, he's set that up. Now he's going to show the port association. As we can see, we have a VirtualWire configured between 17 and 97. Now we see that both switches are seeing each other as neighbors. So there you go. Test 1 now sees test 2 as a neighbor, and test 2 sees test 1 as a neighbor on the right. Now the final step is we're going to want to show that if we take down a port on test 1, that the corresponding port on test 2 goes down. Now here we can see Krishna is going to issue the port config modify command so we can disable port 17 on test 1. And now Krishna will issue the port 5 show command on port 17, and yes, we can see that it's down. Now he's moving over to test 2, and he's running the port 5 show command again, but this time for port 49, and we can see that's gone down as well. Now, one last thing to do is Krishna's going to show the port at 5-second intervals, and then he's going to go back to test 1 and he's going to enable port 17. And there you can see on the right on test 2 that the port has come up as well. So that's it, folks. I hope you found the video helpful. Here's the list of commands and what they're used for that we promised you earlier in the video. For more how-to videos and documentation, please refer to the resources section of the Pluribus Network's website. The QR code on the right will take you there. Thanks for watching.